Welcome, cherished viewers, to Sheikh Hamdan's Fans official channel, your oasis for the most intimate verses and visionary insights from Dubai's beloved Crown Prince. Tonight's premiere, this video will answer everything you feared, invites you to exhale the worries moonlit over your heart. The curtain rises upon dazzling skyline shots of Dubai, pearl towers glimmering like hope lanterns along the Gulf, while gentle oud notes whisper in the background. Sheikh Hamdan's steady voice greets us, pledging to lay bare truths that flicker just beyond reason's reach, truths that, once embraced, dissolve even the darkest uncertainty. Cameras glide into the majlis, where ornate lanterns cast warm pools of light onto pristine white cushions. Hamdan leans forward, his eyes alight with candor. "Let fear sit beside you only as a guest," he murmurs, "for by dawn it departs with the shadows." He recounts how fear once pressed upon his own shoulders when duty and longing were in delicate balance. His admission is disarming. Royals, too, tremble at the unseen, yet courage blooms in confessing it. Each syllable becomes a key that gently unfastens the locks around our own unspoken anxieties. The lens drifts over falcons circling a russet desert horizon, symbols of watchfulness and freedom. Over this vista, Hamdan's poetry unfurls. "I have weighed the winds of doubt, let them carve canyons in my chest, yet still my song returns, sandstorms sculpt castles from our vulnerability. We must dare to reside within them." His verses resonate like desert drums, reminding us that reluctance can be molded into resilience, that uncertainty is but the wind that polishes our convictions until they gleam. He recalls a night beneath the faint glow of the crescent moon when he paced the palace terrace, wondering whether to voice a love that might rewrite royal expectations. In a low timbre, he shares, "Silence was my shield, yet also my prison." We witness a slow-motion reenactment, pearls of sweat at his temple, a distant lightning fork, mirroring the split in his resolve. Viewers are drawn into that heartbeat pause before confession, recognizing their own suspended breaths in his. From there, the script transitions to testimonials of ordinary citizens, an architect, a teacher, a pearl diver, whose lives were quietly influenced by Hamdan's courage. Each recounts a moment when they chose to voice an unspoken dream, guided by his spotlight of example. Their narratives form an interlaced tapestry, proving that fear is democratic, but so, too, is bravery. A soft orchestral swell underpins their revelations, braiding their courage with yours. Back in the majlis, Hamdan lifts a silver dalla and pours steaming Arabic coffee, the fragrance curling like promise. "Drink with me," he invites, for this bitterness at first touch foretells sweetness thereafter. The metaphor lands. Confronting dread may scald, yet its aftertaste delivers clarity. He slides a letter across the table, the very note he once feared to write, its wax seal newly broken. We glimpse nothing of the inked confession, yet the emptiness our minds fill is more profound than any scripted lines. He turns to face the camera fully, pupils bright as desert stars. "Answering fear is not the same as erasing it," he intones. "We bring a lantern into a cave, not to destroy the darkness, but to understand its shape." A lone violin threads through the stillness. His words settle like sand into newly traced patterns, urging each viewer to illuminate their hidden chambers rather than close them off. A sweeping drone shot carries us over the Arabian Sea at sunrise, dawn's gold dissolving the horizon's indigo. The poet's voice rides the breeze. Even the horizon keeps its promise to appear. Though night after night it disappears, it always returns at first light. In these lines, we recognize our own cyclical doubt and the constant invitation to hope. The camera tilts skyward, showing the sun as a metaphorical answer rising unannounced yet entirely dependable. Inside a quiet stable, Hamdan brushes his prized stallion, Zara. The horse shivers, a subtle quake betraying instinctive caution, then calms under his palm. Fear, he explains, is the stallion's first language. Trust is taught by gentle consistency. The intimate moment draws parallels to relationships frayed by silence. Viewers feel urged to reach out, to soothe, to restore bonds previously tethered by apprehension. A hush falls, the background score dims to a heartbeat. Hamdan recites fresh verses, eyes closed. "Enter my heart as dawn enters the desert, slow but certain, outshining each trembling dune." The lines arrive like warm rain on drought-cracked soil, promising renewal. His cadence is a balm, the vowels stretch just wide enough for our own fears to step within and be reshaped. The penultimate sequence casts silhouettes of dancers inside an illuminated tent, their movements echoing the poem's rhythm. Each twirl mirrors the pivot from dread to liberation. Overlaid captions display self-affirmations harvested from Hamdan's stanzas. I cling not to trepidation, but to possibility. Visually, the script demonstrates how art refracts anxiety into beauty, urging the audience to do likewise with their private storms. Finally, Sheikh Hamdan steps into the dawning light atop a windswept dune, footprints erasing behind him as the breeze rises. He turns once more to the lens, a half-smile playing at the corner of his lips. What you feared has already begun to change, he declares softly. By naming it, you have lessened its claim. With that benediction, the screen fades to an amber glow, and the only remaining sound is our united pulse, steady, brave, and answered at last. You would laugh if you saw me now, surrounded by advisors, attended by guards, carrying the burden of a nation, and yet undone by a whisper of your memory. You always said my strength came from my softness, and I never believed you. But now I do. My tears are not weak. They are proof that I have loved, deeply and fearlessly. I want to cry because that love still defines me, shapes me, completes me, even in your absence. Some say poets exaggerate, but I do not need to. What I felt for you was more than a metaphor, it was a sacred truth. I do not write to impress. I write to survive. And in every verse, I give you pieces of myself that I cannot say aloud. I want to cry because this script, these words, are the only way I know how to say, I miss you. I love you. I always will. I have imagined 1,000 lifetimes, and in each one, I hope to find you again. Perhaps not always in the same way. Maybe one life we're just strangers passing on the street, another we're lovers in a forgotten town, another where we're old and quiet and everything makes sense. But always, you. In every story, every universe, some part of me will be looking for you. Because this connection, this deep affection, feels too ancient to be new. It feels written in the stars long before we were born. I will remember to whisper, again and again, what I now say with all the honesty in my soul. I deeply like you. And not just in a way that fades or flutters, but in the way the mountains stand, in the way oceans breathe, eternal, unshaken, and full of awe. So, my darling, hear me now, I am completely, endlessly, and irrevocably crazy for you. There is no cure, no way back, no sanity left. And I wouldn't trade this madness for anything. If loving you is madness, then let me be mad until my last breath. Because in this chaos, I've found the most beautiful truth I've ever known. You are my heart's wildest desire, and I am yours, entirely, eternally, and without end. The night grows late, but the poem is still incomplete. Love's prison is vast, with courtyards yet unexplored, secrets yet confessed. He returns to the palace and seals the parchment with wax imprinted by a falcon's crest, smiling at the irony. There's something sacred about crossing the threshold of a long-awaited moment. You don't just walk into it, you feel it pass through you. It changes the texture of your breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat, and the clarity in your mind. That's what this moment is doing to me. It's not just opening a door, it's rewriting the landscape. The walls I used to lean on for comfort have disappeared, and suddenly, there's sky everywhere. Possibility is no longer an idea. It's the atmosphere I now breathe. Let the world change its stars, but let our love remain, unchanging, undying, infinite. And so I write again tonight, beneath the lanterns of my soul, each word a petal from my bleeding heart. Hadia, if you can hear me across the veils of space or spirit, know this, I am still yours. I have always been yours. You are the beginning of every sunrise, the hush of every twilight. You are not just my first love. You are my last. My always. My Hadia. The world may see me adorned in robes of royalty, my name echoed in halls of power, yet none of it holds the weight of your whispered, Habibi. That single word from your lips dismantles empires within me, leaving only the humble truth of who I am when I stand before you. Just a man, stripped of titles, yearning only to be the keeper of your smile. Your love humbled me more than any battlefield, and lifted me higher than the tallest tower in my kingdom. You taught me that to love deeply is to kneel, not to conquer, and I have never kneeled more willingly. I cannot promise you a love without storms, for even the desert winds howl when the sky mourns. But I promise you this: I will love you through every storm, every drought, every nightfall. My love is not a candle, it is a lighthouse, unwavering, standing tall even as the tides crash against it. You are my compass, my truth, my sacred vow.